Hey guys, what's up? This is Maistro bringing you the Korea Komalas in our first game of the APL Season 1. No, Season 2. What am I talking about? Alright, sorry about that. Let's start over. Hey guys, what's up? It's Maistro bringing you guys the Korea Komalas in the first game of our APL Season 2. Ready to come back, deal out some big damage, hopefully make it back to playoffs, finals if we can do that. Anyway, a few things before we really start going into this video. First of all, I'm sure by now all of you guys have realized I have a pretty ridiculous haircut. It's gonna grow out. Don't really worry about that. It looks pretty awful right now. You guys are just gonna have to deal with that for the rest of this video. Second of all, I'm not gonna be recording for a good bit after this, for about 3 or 4 weeks after this video goes up, because I'm gonna be in a place where there's not really gonna be enough of this kind of privacy that I can kind of like record. So I'm probably gonna record. After that, I'm still gonna be playing my matches for sure. Well, not for sure, but hopefully I'm going to be able to be playing my matches. If not, then I'll make it up. But, yeah, that's just something. Third of all, I think I'm probably going to stick to post-com instead of live-com from now on. I've seen my live-com versus post-com videos. I do prefer the post-com, mainly because, I don't think I give off, like, the kind of, like, outcome of the match kind of vibe that, comes with giving off like a post-com, it's like a bit of a trouble with giving off a post-com kind of vibe. Second of all, live-com it takes a lot more time and it's more pressure during the match. I initially thought that live-com would really help me focus on what's going on like during the match, because I would have to like really say everything out loud. I could kind of realize that way, but I realized it may be like live-com is a bit of a trouble because I have like thoughts in my head and I can't really get them all out at the same time, and I'm trying to focus on doing that and focusing on playing the match at the same time. So yeah, I think I'm gonna stick to post-com from here on out. So with that out of the way, let's get right into the match. So we are facing Charlie week 1. We faced him in the playoffs round 1, and before that we faced him in the regular season. So technically our record between those two matches against him is 1-1 -1 differential. Now, as you can see, he got, I believe, 9th pick in the draft overall. He has a fairly scary team. If you see it's highlighted on the screen. He has the Hail Core. He also has extremely bulky and extremely bulky offensive kind of mods like Mega-Heracross, Tyrantrum, a lot of setup mods that can very easily sweep, like Superior and Manaphy. Jolteon's extremely fast and is one of the best fast electric types out there, in my opinion. And then he has Cresselia, which is one of the most notorious very bulky mons just in general out there. The one that I suppose it's rumored that no one hit can basically just bring this down, not from like a knockoff from Bisharp or whatever. You just set up, blah blah blah. And anyway, so looking at his team, I'm looking at it, and a few of my mons have very specifically good matchups against this. Most notably, my FERRO has an extremely good matchup against this. His Mega-Heracross can come in on that for sure, and so can his Rapidash, but if I'm setting up rocks with FERRO, he's got to kind of like play around that. Outside of that, not really one mon has a super good matchup against this. Superior needs to get a Leaf Storm up to be able to do significant damage with HP Fire. Manaphy is walled by this. Jolteon's pretty much walled by this. And I can take hits from a Sandslash-Alola even after one. Well, not really after one Swords Dance, but hopefully I can at least live a hit after that. This thing also walls Cress to like no end. So there's that. I use this opportunity to bring a very unique set, as you guys will see. So my thought process going into the matchup was basically to try to bring down the Cress with taunt users. And unfortunately, the two of the better taunt users on my team, that being Crobat and Nidoqueen, who also have fairly good matchups in this game, because Crobat has Infiltrator that can go through Aurora Veil, and subs as well. So he can't really set up with subs, as he would have liked to on a Ditto, for example. And Nidoqueen, it's just a very good answer to Jolteon. With the amount of bulk that it has, it can also take Specs HP Ices from the Jolteon as well. So there's that, and it's also just a very good switch into Mega-Heracross. Mega-Heracross, it does have that insane 180 base attack stat, but we do resist both of its stabs, and he can't do a lot to us back unless he brings Earthquake. So that out of the way, basically, those are the two mods that I would like to bring. I would not like to bring Persian Alola as much. Cresselia could be carrying Moonblast, that's a thought, and well, in hindsight I probably should have brought Persian Alola. It actually would have made a fairly good mon in this matchup. But, like, I've given away, I don't bring Persian Alola, but the point is I do bring Taunt on both my Nidoqueen and my Crobat. And then I just really need to bring Ditto, because some of the scariest mons are scary because they set up. So mons like Sandslash-Alola with Swords Dance in the Hail, that's a problem. Manaphy, Z-Rain Dance, Tailglow Manaphy, anything like that. Leaf Storm Contrary Superior, Moxie Scarf Crocodile, Swords Dance Mega-Heracross, Calm Mind Crest, Dragon Dance Tyrantrum. See, he has like so many ways to set up against me, so it's imperative that we bring Ditto this week, because Ditto can gain these stat boosts from copying the opponent, and can use this to its advantage. So with that out of the way, I'll just go ahead and show you the team. It's fairly self-explanatory. Yes, I already said I was going to bring Ditto. Not really much to say about this. We did finally figure out our nicknames. You guys will eventually see all of those in like future vids, assuming I bring every single one of these mons on this team. So we have Ditto, we have our Diancie Mega. I was wondering whether I should bring Diancie Mega, as a lot of my mons, a lot of his mons technically do have a fairly good matchup against this Diancie, and but if you see, I think Diancie is also a very good check to his Rapidash, which I think is definitely going to come because I do have Ferrothorn. It's also just a very good wall to Braviary, and it can come in against Ninetales Alola and set up against that. So I'm bringing Rock Polish 3 attacks against this. Not really much to say here. It's just extremely offensive. I don't really need a speed, because after one Rock Polish I'm pretty much outspeeding anything, including a choice Scarf Crocodile. So yeah, 110 speed really coming in handy right here. So we have Moonblast and Diamond Storm for very good stab. I need that HP Fire, so I can attack that Sandslash-Alola for super effective damage. In fact, to a non-invested Sandslash-Alola, this does min 163%. Just take that in for a sec. 163. This is a regular HP Fire on this insane mon, which back in the day, I wanted this thing to not be allowed in Draft League, and I stand by that. Because this thing is just so insanely powerful. Sure, there's that 4x weakness to Steel, but it can get around that. So anyway, I'm not going to go on too much about this. That's our Diancie Mega. As I do think I remember correctly, I don't end up bringing Hazard Removal on this team. I may have that wrong, but I don't think I do bring Hazard Removal on this team. So he does have a Rapid Spinner in Sandslash-Alola, but I don't really think he's going to be bringing that, because it's more of an offensive presence on his team. Let me just go back quickly to his team. Yeah, so outside of Sandslash-Alola, he has no Rapid Spinners, so he's going to have to be forced to bring Defog, if at all. And my mons, for the most part, they don't really mind rocks that much. Zapdos, I'm just going to put this on the screen for now. Defensive, but also very fast. This is Speed Crept to outspeed a max speed Crocodile. I'm not going to bother with speed tying with a Manaphy if he wants to do that. This is going to be Expert Belt. We're just going to be hitting pretty much everything as hard as we possibly can with this particular spread. It's just really nice. Having that extra defensive bulk allows us to switch in on mons like Heracross, for example. So yeah, Hertfordshire was just a huge scary presence, and as you can see, this team actually deals with it very well, especially when you see the Frothorn set. That's going to be very interesting. Crobat, taunt set, mainly for the crest. I can tank a good amount of hits, because I have all that HP investment. I'm going to have the Roost, and then I'm going to have Momentum with U-Turn and Brave Bird. Fairly self-explanatory, fairly defensive Crobat set. With the speed, I outspeed a max speed superior. Then our Nidoqueen. This is going to be our Rock setter. I think it's very important to get up Rocks if I really want to wear that Ninetales Alola down. Going back to his team, he doesn't exactly have mons that resist it that well. Rapidash also gets worn down by this. Braviary as well. So yeah, Rocks are going to be fairly big in this game. And then Taunt, Toxic. I take hits very well from Cresselia with this particular spread. 180 Calm in Special Defense and 252 in HP. And then we're just going to have that Sheer Force Earth Power just because we can. That's our Nidoqueen set, and finally our Frothorn set. I've been kind of referring to it a little bit throughout this video, and now I think you guys are going to like it quite a lot. We are bringing a Swords Dance 3 attack Choppleberry Frothorn. So, the point of this set, we come in on a lot of his mons, Manaphy maybe, we can come in on that, and we can SD up in that face, and then we can maybe lure the Mega-Heracross in, because I can't really attack it that well. Like, a normal Frothorn set wouldn't be exactly the best way to deal with Mega-Heracross. However, we can eat a close combat, and then we can just annihilate that thing with either Gyro Ball or Explosion, or whatever we want. Like, Explosion is pretty much a last resort. In hindsight, I probably should have brought Knockoff to get through the crest easier. But, I mean, after one Swords Dance, this thing is just going to be doing so much. Do not sleep on Frothorn. That is my motto throughout this season. Do not sleep on Frothorn. I've got a bit of hate about it. Just like not necessarily being good in Draft League. A lot of like OU, like defensive mons, like Toxapex, which I have used before. It wasn't that great to use in Draft League format, but I feel like Frothorn can really just put in the work here. So with that out of the way, these are our 6 mons we're bringing to our first match against Charlie, and we're just going to move straight to the replay. Now, I'm on the other side. I will correct that as soon as we press play, but as you can see by this team, he did not bring the Mega-Heracross, which is very big for me, but then he pretty much brought everything else that I thought he'd bring. I'm very glad not to see a few mons, in particular like the Tyrantrum, because that was a very big rock setter on his team, and as you can see, he doesn't have rocks unless he decides to bring rocks on Sand/Alola. So that really makes mons like my Crobat and my Zapdos, they have a much easier time. And then looking at the mons that he does have, Calm Crest could be an option. I don't really know, like, if he prepped with Ditto in mind. With Rapidash, I can copy the Flash Fire off that. With Manaphy, I can copy the Tail Glows or Speed Boost from Z Rain Dance. I can copy the Leaf Storm off the Leaf Storm boosts off the Superior. I can copy the Swords Dance with the Sand/Alola. However, I do need to be wary of Aurora Veil, because if that is up, I'm not going to be doing nearly as much as I would like to. I do have Crobat for that, but yeah, let's just go into it. Yeah, so he leads off with his Manaphy, as I decided to lead off with Zapdos, because Zapdos is a very good just option for a lot of his mons. Honestly, I feel like it was a bit of a misplay on both of our parts. I feel like he probably could have just let off with the Ninetales Alola, and I could have just gone ahead and let off with my Ditto, because that's just always a very reliable mon to just kind of lead off with, in my opinion. And I could just kind of scout the moves that it does have. So Manaphy comes out, and I'm pretty much free to just get off a nice Thunderbolt on something. As you can see, that something is eventually going to be the Crest. So, Crest comes in, I calc, and based on the Thunderbolt damage and the U-turn damage that's going to come in right after, this is a specially defensive crest. So I decide to go into Nidoqueen because I want to start Toxic Taunt, stalling this thing. He decides to go for the Toxic, which in my like idea didn't really make a lot of sense because Ferrothorn is the most obvious switch in, at least to this thing. Especially, I didn't really want to just go ahead and, I don't know, like wear this thing down like that. So he unleashes a Psychic, and that just does 34. So we can take 3 and still live just by a little bit. So I'm able to get the Toxic off on this thing, which is wonderful. So now that I'm like really toxic stalling this thing, I decide to pull the switch into Ferrothorn, as he decides to switch into Manaphy. Now, I thought his play into Rapidash was probably fairly expected, and I don't know what he would think my set would be based on the fact that my Nidoking already has rocks, maybe spike stacking, for example. So I decided to go for a Power Whip just to get that extra chip under Rapidash, but as you can see here, he turned out to have the HP Fire. And actually, after the match, well, no, I'll let this play out, and you guys will see. But we're able to get that that Power Whip off, and that just annihilates the Manaphy. That thing is gone. Turned out after the game that thing was an Assault Vest Manaphy, which is really interesting. So, assuming he outsped me like turn 1 and got off an Ice Beam, he probably 2-hit KO me from there on my Zapdos, and I didn't do a lot back with Thunderbolt, even with the Expert Belt boost, because he had Assault Vest. So, Ferrothorn's down to about half. I'm not envisioning that Swords Dance is going to happen at this point. He brings out a Superior. I don't really want to let the thing set up a Sub or a Leaf Storm or anything, and I know my Crobat is like 100% like the best option for this. He actually decides to go for the Defog, gets away my rocks, which is a little bit annoying because now the Rapidash can come in fairly easily. So he goes into Sandslash Alola as I U-turn, knowing that he doesn't like want to stay in on a Crobat because he doesn't really have any real answer to that. So I go into Zapdos. I just go straight for the Heat Wave, trying to take this thing out. He predicts that very well, goes into Rapidash, but now I decide to make a fairly ballsy play in my face. I suppose I did have the Mega Diancie as a potential switch. As you will see, I decided to go into Ditto to predict like an incoming Stab Fire move. So he actually ends up going for the Overheat, and we're going to be able to get that Flash Fire boost off from him, which is really nice. And then this turn I decide to switch out again. If he was Scarfed or Choice or something, he would have switched out here most likely. So I decide to predict the Cresselia switch in, and I most likely should have gone back into Nidoqueen. I didn't really calc a lot during this match, and I just wanted to see if I could just taunt that Cresselia. So yeah, he goes back out into Cresselia, which is absolutely fine by me. Actually, also, I went back into Crobat. If he wasn't Scarf and he went for like high horsepower on my Rapidash / Ditto, that would have done a chunk, but I would have been immune to it because I am part Flying type. So we go for the taunt. He reads that very well, and he just goes for the Psychic, or he just gets on some very nice chip. And he gets the Spadef drop, which is unfortunate because I can't really Roost stall him, so I'm kind of forced to U-turn. I decide to U-turn out back into my Ferrothorn because I can just kind of set up on this thing, as he makes a very good prediction in my eyes, and he goes straight for the HP Fire. So very, very good play to Charlie, and it definitely does not look like we're going to be able to set up Sword Stats or anything, so I just click Explosion. I know he's just going to go for a Psychic / HP Fire on this next turn anyway to take this thing out, but the good news is Toxic damage is racking up, so this thing cannot, does not like to take hits. I mean, no, what am I talking about? This thing does not like to stay in on many mons for that much longer, so I just go back into my Nidoqueen. I taunt this thing. He tries to Moonlight up, but he can't, because now he's taunt. and I just take the chance to go ahead and set up my rocks again, make that that Rapidash switching in a lot harder, and also that Ninetales Alola, so that's looking good. So the Cresselia goes down, which is wonderful. That's one of the biggest threats on his side gone. I just take this chance to sack off my Nidoqueen. I don't have the best switch in to this, honestly, and I decide this is the best time to go into my Diancie and set up a Rock Polish. So we Mega Evolve. He decides to set up an Aurora Veil, which, I mean, like, it's fine. And at this point, he already brought out his Sand/Slash Alola once. So if he is uninvested, that is to say, like, 4 special defense, I'm still going to be doing min 81 or so % to the Sand/Slash Alola. And after rocks, he is going to be taking, he's going to be at 80%. So I can still take him out with an HP Fire from this range. So I'm not worried about that, especially since we outspeed him after Rock Polish. So we go for the Rock Polish, we take a bit of hail damage, doesn't really matter. We go for the Diamond Storm, we unfortunately do not get the boost, gets a Blizzard but no freeze, which is very, very nice. I would not have liked to see that freeze. And I decided to go for Moonblast. I didn't want to risk the miss. Aurora Veil still has quite a few turns up. It turns out this thing was Light Clay, so that's definitely scary considering like a potential like late game sweep with Serp at the back. But we go ahead, we take this thing. It turns out it was a little bit invested, but then after that the roll was 79 to 91%. So at this point, I just decided to save this thing. I have no reason to sack it off when I have Crobat as just a wonderful, wonderful answer to this Superior, especially since I go straight through the Aurora Veil. So I want to scout for the HP Rock, so what I do is I decide to roost up on this turn, because I know I just go ahead and I annihilate the Superior turn after anyway. So he goes for the HP Fire, as it turns out to be, but I'm not playing any games. I don't really need to roost up again in case he goes for another Leaf Storm. So I just go ahead and I decide to go for Brave Bird. We go straight through the Aurora Veil, and Superior goes down. And now we are in a very good position for a 4-0 victory. I just decided to go with my Zapdos. It's at full. I don't want him to make, I don't want to make that prediction into my Ditto that he just did right there. So yeah, and we tank that overheat just perfectly. This thing was an expert belt, as it was not Scarf or anything. So yeah, that's our Week 1 battle versus Charlie. We were able to secure a very, very solid 4-0 win. There were times during the battle in which I was like, see, like, this could go either way. I thought it was going to come down to like a 1-0, but after Diancie got that Rock Polish up, and I didn't get frozen by Blizzard, it really put me in a really good position. I admit during the battle, I was not aware that Infiltrator would go through the Aurora Veil. I just didn't, like, I knew it was a thing, but I just didn't really put 2 and 2 together and think that I would just be able to straight up OKO the Superior. That really came in clutch. Crobat really putting in great work. Mega Diancie especially as well. That thing notching 2 kills. Frosthorn, it did die, but it also notched 1 kill. Nidoqueen also notched 1 kill, and Crobat got 1 kill. So none of my mods are at negative differential right now, and that's just a really, really wonderful Week 1 battle against Charlie. So yeah, as I mentioned earlier in the video, I'm not going to be able to upload or record for a good 3 or 4 weeks after this. But once I do, they'll be going up like bam, bam, bam. Like, hopefully. Like, that's the ideal situation. After this, we will face Silver Star, who drafted an extremely, extremely bulky team. Like, this thing, his team has Crest, sure, but that's 1 mon. This thing, it's like pure bulk. It's like Celesteela, Sylveon. Zygarde is bulky in my eyes. It's actually got a very impressive amount of bulk. Anyway, point is, that's going to be a bit of a tough game, just like not really wanting to prep for. You don't really like to prep for mons like Sylveon. They're just like not fun to play against. Anyway, that was our Week 1 battle versus Charlie, and I hope to catch you guys next time with Maistro and Korea Komalas, bringing you our Week 2 battle after this. So I will see you guys then. Peace out.